Hey everyone, I'm Alex. Thanks for clicking and welcome to this lesson on 20 English oxymorons. So let's get right to it. An oxymoron is a figure of speech that has two contradictory or opposite words appearing side by side. So basically, it's a combination of two words that really have opposite meanings, but we use them, regularly in sentences and phrases. So the origin of the word oxymoron is from the Greek for oxy and moron, which means sharp and dull. Dull is the opposite of sharp. So you can have a sharp knife or a dull knife. A dull knife doesn't cut very well, right? Which itself is oxymoronic. So these combinations of words here are oxymoronic. What I'm going to do in this video is first, I will review every single one of the oxymorons. So if you are already a native English speaker, you can kind of just read the oxymorons with me, get a good laugh, continue with your day and watch whatever other cat videos you want to watch today on YouTube. And if you are a non-native English speaker, after reviewing everything, I'm going to go back one by one and give a more detailed explanation. All right? So let's begin. Number one, alone together. Crash landing. Devout atheist. Exact estimate. Found missing. Minor miracle. Old news. Only choice. Freezer burn. Growing smaller. Jumbo shrimp. Loosely sealed. Loud whisper. Original copy. Same difference. Seriously funny. Small crowd. Student teacher. Unbiased opinion. Working vacation. Okay, now let's look at these one by one and explain why they are oxymoronic. One, alone together. The word alone means to be by yourself. So how can you be alone when there's another person or a group of people with you? You're not alone, you're with other people, right? Okay, a crash landing. So an airplane can land or it can crash, right? So these things are opposites. To crash means to just smash into the ground, and to land typically means to land smoothly with the plane and to touch down with no problems. So a crash landing doesn't really make sense. A devout atheist. So an atheist is a person who doesn't believe in God. The word devout is an adjective that means highly devoted, usually in a spiritual sense. So can an atheist show like devotion to not believing in something? Usually, if you are a devout, for example, a devout Christian or a devout Muslim or a devout Hindu, you show devotion to, your God or your gods. Whereas an atheist doesn't really have a God or believe in God, so they can't really have devotion for something, right? All right, an exact estimate. An estimate is a guess. It's not exactly a precise figure. So if you go to the mechanic to fix your car and you ask, how much money will this cost? And the mechanic says, probably $450. That's the estimate. Now, exact means exactly the number. You can't estimate exactly the number. You can only estimate a guess or around a specific number. Found missing. So if a child goes missing, they get lost or kidnapped from their parents, and then they are found by the police, in the news, people say the child was found missing. But you found them, so they're not missing anymore, right? Okay, next, minor miracle. Going back to the religious term a little bit, a miracle is something that cannot be explained by science. It's something that is so amazing that it goes against the laws of nature. So really, something is miraculous. It's amazing, incredible. It can't be small. It can't be minor. It's something massive and huge, right? Next, old news. News means things that are current, things that are happening now. So how can news be old? Maybe yesterday's news, kind of, but really the two terms collide with each other. Next, only choice. Now, choice means you have more than one option, okay? If you only have one choice, that's not a choice. So you can't have an only choice. You must have multiple choices, all right? Next, freezer burn. So freezer burn is what happens if you leave something in your freezer for a very, 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 very long time. Let's say a pack of peas, you leave them there, and you notice the little icicles start forming around the pack of peas, and you take them out and you have to like wash off or wipe off all of the freezer burn. Now freezer, cold, burn, hot. So cold, hot, in opposition to one another. Next, growing, smaller. So some people say like, oh, my bank account is growing smaller. It's becoming smaller. It is shrinking. So to grow means to get bigger. You can't get bigger or smaller at the same time. It's kind of it doesn't work. Next, jumbo shrimp. So shrimp, the seafood, as you know, shrimp means small. So how can you have a jumbo of something that is small? Yes, they are bigger than a regular size shrimp, but the word shrimp means small, tiny. So jumbo shrimp is a contradiction. Loosely sealed. If something is sealed, this means it is closed completely. You cannot open it. So if you have peanut butter or if you have a bottle of wine and it's the first time that you have never opened it, it is sealed. When you open it, pop, you hear that pop, it's not sealed anymore. Okay? So to be sealed means to be completely closed. Something that is loosely sealed is not sealed. So you cannot say loosely sealed. You can say loosely closed, kind of open, maybe, all right? A loud whisper. A whisper is soft, quiet. It can't be loud, okay? It's a contradiction in terms. An original copy. I have an original copy of William Shakespeare's Hamlet or something. So, no, you have an original or you have a copy. You can't have a copy of the original because there's only one original. If you have something that came after the original, you have a copy. You don't have an original copy. Next, same difference. But if it's different, how can it be the same? Right? Seriously funny. Now, this one is debatable because you can say, okay, the word seriously can mean really or truly in this situation. But when you think of something being serious, it's not funny. It's very grave. So if something is seriously funny, it's it doesn't work. Again, it's an oxymoron. Next, a small crowd. A crowd is a group of people, typically a large group of people. So if you have a small crowd, you can't really say that it's a small crowd. It's a crowd, okay? I guess you can compare crowds and say, this crowd has 30 people and this crowd has 300 people. So maybe the 30-person crowd is smaller, but it's still a crowd. And ask any one of those 30 people if they're comfortable. No, you can't have a small crowd. A student teacher. In university, people become teachers' assistants, or they teach while they are students, or they help their professors with students in their first year or second year. But a student, by virtue of the fact that they are a student, shouldn't be able to be a teacher, a student teacher. You're a student or you're a teacher. Pick one, right? That's it. An unbiased opinion. So unbiased means that, there is nothing that is affecting your opinion. Now, some people will argue that it's possible to have an unbiased opinion, but everyone's opinion is colored, is affected, is changed by their experience, by their knowledge, by what they have experienced in their life. So you can't really have an unbiased opinion about something because everyone has biases or biases. Is it biases or biases? You tell me in the comments section. All right. And finally, a working vacation. Vacation. Away from work. Working vacation, it doesn't really work, okay? So when you're on vacation, you're supposed to be relaxing away from work. You're not supposed to be working. So it's a contradiction. But in the 21st century, these types of vacations are unfortunately very common. Okay, so if you would like to test your understanding of this material, of these 20 oxymorons, as always, you can check out the quiz on engVid.com. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, comment on it, subscribe to my channel, and check me out on Facebook and Twitter. And finally, if you really enjoyed what we do here on engVid and you want us to continue making videos, so you want to see more stuff by James and Ronnie and Benjamin and Jill and I'm sorry, Emma and everyone else I forgot, if I forgot anyone. Who did I forget? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. All right. You want to continue to see us making more videos, you can support us by donating at the site. We really appreciate every donation we receive. Till next time, thanks for clicking and take it easy. Bye.